happening. And boy, am I excited for yet another huddle. I believe episode 261 of our Unblinded Huddle. And today, Sean's coming in to step into conversations that we began yesterday, coming off, a beautiful day of innovation, creation, and what's present for you out there. For everyone that is new, thank you for wherever you are in the world, coming on, hanging out, being here with us at 8:30 a.m. EST, whatever time zone that is for you. And for everyone that is like rocking out with us for some time, let's keep on going. So shout out to a few folks. I see Mike Pisa in the chat, which is Sean's cousin, brother. It was so awesome. Like, I heard rumor on the streets that you existed. And then last weekend at LBI, we had the absolute honor of your presence, blending you into our world. So super happy to have you here. Sharon Stecker, happy to have you here with us. Jay Levine, it's Pisa, not pizza, but I'm not sure about those semantics. So Ruth and everyone else here, what's happening? And Sean, I hear a flutter in the distance.
Yes. How are you, sir? Good morning, everybody, and happy Trajectory Tuesday. Happy Trajectory Tuesday. And yes, thank you to all of the amazing crew. And it's been a lot of awesome energy in the space of Unblinded. Couldn't be more exciting, grateful about people seeing their future in this work and what we're up to and what we're doing. So immense amounts of excitement in that space. But, in addition to excitement, we talked about it under the Elite Weekend. We've talked about it here before. It's like heart-centered math. Like, trajectory is rooted in heart-centered math. And I hearken back to the LBI weekend, and I think about our need and desire to control things, and our need and desire to control things versus harnessing the power of things. So if I can give you a fun analogy on Trajectory Tuesday on where our outcomes, what they might be on the other side of. So when we were going into the ocean at night, people were understandably uncertain. Some people were scared. Some people were like petrified, right? And what fear can do is immobilize action. So the action was, okay, wave under, like wave under. And there was the ability to enjoy and harness the power of the ocean. Like, there's a wave, you go under, you feel like whoosh, like the water going, you get belly to sand, like it's like wave under. And it's amazing. For some, it was wave, I'm not ready, wait, bang. And now we're flying all over the place, like being tumbled and thrown. And it's like, oh my God, right? And it's just like that in how the world works. And the world works in a formula. Like, it's not like we have the formula that like makes the world work. No, there's like a formula. There's like gravity. There's like process. Like, what do you do? There's influence mastery, how you go from hello to yes, and self mastery, getting yourself to do it. That's just the way the world works. It works in a formula. It's a math dynamic. And that math includes our heart, our love, our passion, our energy, right? Includes a lot of different things. And I'm going to go back and give you a little history lesson on the desire for control, right? The desire for knowingness and ego, and where it can be destructive, right? So it's wave under, right? Equals enjoy an amazing, exhilarating experience. Desire to control is, I'm not ready. No, wait. Well, the ocean isn't waiting. The world isn't waiting, right? The opportunity isn't waiting. Like, we live in a fiction of control, but the world, your business, your life is like the ocean. Like, the dynamics around you, they're flowing continuously. They're occurring continuously. And as soon as you step into that flow, right, you're not in control of all the dynamics, but you can harness their power. You can surf them. You can have fun with them. You could have like a shark bump you and it's okay. You could have a dolphin jump out of the water and have this amazing, majestic, incredible moment. Like, I had the blessing and privilege to experience last weekend. Yeah, like I had a dolphin, or late last week, jump out of the ocean next to me. It was unreal, right? I've had 3 magical dolphin experiences on Long Beach Island. I've had many, 3 magical. And that was as magical as any of them, other than the fact that the first 2 actually were more magical because I enjoyed them with my son, Tyler. And so magic, but they're just going to happen. And it's like, no, I'm going to not go onto the wave. I'm going to like take the wave. I'm not ready. And bang, right? That's what happens in life. The opportunity passes. It doesn't work. There's friction, right? Versus being in the formula and harnessing the power of the compounding of your energy, the energy of others or another and others. Like that's what's happening, right? So when we think about why those things don't happen, right? We also have to think about and like why action is not occurring, why zone action. We talk about fear of failure and fear of rejection, and that fear of failure is rooted in the space of ego and knowingness. It's one of the core components of fear of failure. So in the early days, right, of how people were making up stories, because we all make up stories. I'm not blaming people, right? But let's say there's a lot of energy here, and people are focusing on, oh, like there's too much like Zeus energy. Like this is all about like Zeus energy, right? And there were some people back in like March, let's say, and even in January that made up that story. And not criticizing, I'm giving an example of how we can delete, dilute, and distort it. So what people were like not listening to are modules, and where we talk about the four energies in equal balance. What and I'm going to go all the way through this, so just stay with me. What people may not be present to is the dynamic, right? The dynamic of what they're actually hearing and occurring. And they could delete the presence of goddess energy, fun energy, aspirational energy, and exaggerate, create a focal distortion about things that are occurring. You do that, I do that, they did that. Maybe you're one of those days without judgment or blame. We're just bring ourselves present to the reality of how we can delete, dilute, and distort, right? And how it stops our action. Just like the deletion, dilution, distortion of, hey, wave under, hold your breath for 5 seconds, all good. Like wave under, hold your breath for 5 seconds, max, all good, right? Hear it go over, boom. Oh, another one, back under. Oh, another one, back under. Now, maybe the speed of the frequency of the waves caused a need to go up, down, wave, under, right? And so the patterns, wait, oh my God, not yet, I'm not ready. So like someplace in the continuum became, I'm going to delete, dilute, and distort the process out of fear and or knowingness. Like I don't need to do, I can go over the wave, bang, like no, right? No judgment. I've done the same many times, like not ready, boom, right? My first collegiate baseball at bat against Vanderbilt, left-handed pitcher, manager of the New York Yankees, watching the game, strike one, okay, lefty, I'm a lefty hitter, for those who don't know, makes it harder. Like strike two, took strike two, I'm like, okay, it's going to be an off-speed pitch, curveball, slider. It's going to be something off speed. So, and by the way, you don't guess off speed. You don't guess off speed if you're not a player because you can't adjust. You can adjust if it's slower. You can't adjust if it's faster. Third pitch, strike three down the middle and sat down. Deletion, dilution. So I'm not ready. Wait, like I'm not ready. Hold it. Wait, right? Because I was scared, right? And it's okay. But we want to be present to the reality and make an adjustment. And my next at bat, I was fortunate, made an adjustment, hit a triple off the 410 sign in center field in front of the manager of the New York Yankees on a curveball off my front foot, which was a wonderfully impressive moment. And how do I know all this happened? Because our right fielder, Greg Torborg, was his son, right? So Jeff Torborg, the dad, the manager of the Yankees at the time, his son was our right fielder, okay? So, and told me what his dad said. So the dynamic, though, of like not being ready, the dynamic of not being ready is absolutely stopping you. And so I go back in time to thinking when people are like, I don't understand this thing and I understand that thing. And, like, why would I want to be, like Real Raw, it was like a networking thing. Like, and we're not there anymore, but I'm using these examples as you go forward in the micro distinctions because the movement, Unblinded ecosystem, the educational level, the understanding level, and the energy has risen incredibly. Thank you and congratulations. It's extraordinary where we are. And we're going to continue to make innovations and distinctions. And the challenge is what will make you receive the highest level of benefit from everything that we're doing. Give yourself the greatest chance for the optimal monetary, time, and magic accelerations and growth, right? Will be the degree at which you maintain an innovation and growth mindset, right? An innovation and growth mindset, as so many of you have. As humans, though, we tend to get comfortable. And so we adopt and like move into a reality of how something is. And that's what stops innovation and growth from occurring. Like the 1980 Miracle on Ice team doesn't win the gold medal unless Herb Brooks creates a new offense system, right? Which everybody was freaked out about, from the US Olympic Committee to the players in the team. And by the way, if you're like wondering, well, what's coming? What are you about to say? And the answer is nothing. But I know innovation is necessary for you. I know innovation is necessary for me vertically. Like an innovation yesterday, which was just a small one, was in the WhatsApp group, the elite WhatsApp group. I acknowledged the people on the Real Raw and Real Raw Open and the great job that Joe Hagan, TTP, now I don't have the list written, the great job that TTP did as role player, and Vivian on the Real Raw, as well as the Real Raw Open with Peter Swain, D Rush, Diana, and I think the Terminator was in this mix of yesterday as well. And I may have hit everybody. If I didn't, I apologize. But in that acknowledgement, there was like an infusion of energy. There was like phone calls being made and messages coming my way saying like, yes, I'm like, let's do this. Thank you for that, by the way. Thank you, Bella. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Diana, for like your up-levelings. Thank you, Dr. David, for like joining us. Like amazing, right? So, and others. And so I just want to be present to the reality that innovation is afoot, and our flexibility for how to make things work, and to not be afraid to vertically innovate as opposed to horizontally. Like the biggest mistake is to not innovate at all, right? The next biggest mistake is to horizontally instead of vertically innovate. And then the vertical innovation is the key. And what we mean by vertical innovation is just small additional distinctions. So for example, if you invited 9 people in the Railroad Open and 6 showed up, okay, it's what innovations can be created to ensure that more people are showing up. And we're working on those innovations to support you, to support us. But what can you do? What can Unblinded do? What can we do collectively to continue to make sure that we're creating the greatest outputs for the effort that we're putting into things, right? As opposed to getting stuck in, well, this is just how I do it, right? Like there is no how I do it, like meaning Sean, there is no how I do it. There's the formula, and the formula calls for innovation. So I'm open, I'm ready. And going back to the egoless sense of things, like when people are saying, okay, there's too much Zeus energy and too much masculine energy, let's say, I was present to that possible story, right? And so we said, okay, like where can we innovate? And we're still innovating. So don't hear me saying I'm not taking feedback and just dismissing it, but I'm also saying that we all delete, dilute, and distort, me included. And we have to be present to and aware of where those deletions, dilutions, distortions are. And that's how we make it to the other side of our acceleration, our trajectory increase, and our money, time, and magic. Okay. On tonight's call in Mastery, we're going to be leaning in heavily on a number of different topics with some awesome people. So look forward to seeing you there, particularly moving into math, like focus on acceleration and heart-centered. When we get to math, people get, oh, like math. Like, no, math drives. Like heart gathers, math is the space of decision. And let's all be clear on the Zeus energy point. I'm going to repeat it for a while, is that Zeus energy, decisive energy, can be heart-rooted. So we talked about my grandmother, my love for my grandmother last weekend. I think we mentioned this on one of the calls yesterday, perhaps the Huddle. And its Zeus energy can sound like this. It's my grandmother telling me not to buy the beach house and saying, listen, you're just not ready. You don't need that stress. Like you're like economically, like make sure things are stabilized. This is going back into the late 90s, right? 1999. And me saying like, Nan, I love you. I got it. I love you. I got it. That's Zeus energy. Zeus energy doesn't have to sound disruptive and be a lightning bolt. Sometimes it needs to be. You know, I hit my mom with a lightning bolt last night. Mom, I love you, right? It might not have been a lightning bolt she wanted to receive because I thought it was necessary and supportive about something critically important where fear was coming up in a big way for her. And so somebody might go, wow, like that was like really intense how you're communicating with your mom. Yeah, because I thought she needed to be unblinded and there to be a lightning bolt to break a pattern of fear in how she was approaching a situation. So lightning bolt, scotoma, disruption does not equal the absence of love. Sometimes love is a lightning bolt. Like it's a lightning bolt. Because if we don't create a disruption and an awakening, just like somebody in the ocean, they might get crushed by a wave because they're scared. And so sometimes if you're in the middle of a crazy situation, I have been in life and death situations in the ocean. I have been in life and death situations where the scuba boat wasn't in the right place. The dive instructor led us astray. One of the people was panicking, flailing, running out of air on the surface, creating their own demise through panic. And I had to disrupt the person. I didn't like hit them. It was like a woman. She was scared. I was like, da 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 da, like boom, boom, like right to like because she was going to drown herself, and if I was helping her drown me or others, right? And we have to create a disruption to like help people break a pattern sometimes. And now the absence will be, oh, okay, it's going to be okay. Well, we watch somebody drown and stay away from them. Like no. So trajectory shift math involves love. It involves heart centeredness. And it can involve disruption and boundaries. Yeah. And all of that leads to the fun and magic in the end. Because there's a lot of fun and magic being on the boat when the person was alive. It would not have been fun and magic if the person died. And you say, yeah, but we were so nice and we're so loving and so supportive. And we were just saying the nicest, kindest things. Like sometimes that's what is necessary. And sometimes it requires a boundary and a lightning bolt. So that is our messaging for today. Tonight, there will be a very fun dynamic. I have the privilege of being on Rob Gill's Infinity X. And on Infinity X tonight, we're going to talk about a paid to market dynamic that could affect you and an incredible innovation that Rob and our council for Epic has created. And I'm sure we're going to lean into that a little bit. So if that's of interest to you to learn more about that, yeah, check out Infinity X tonight. We'll throw the link in. I'll be talking to Rob about that. Love Rob, appreciate Rob. And you've heard some of the stories. You'll get a little bit more of an optic of what's been created to make Epic grow and accelerate. So, and how you can potentially benefit from that. So that's awesome. Fernando, any final from you, sir?
Final. Love the goddess and the description of the Zeus energy. And you said something last week that, it's really hit home. So I'm anchoring for myself and sharing. Innovation cannot begin until you start doing something. And that right there is a key takeaway.
Say it again, brother. Say it again.
Innovation cannot begin until you start doing something.
Yeah. And when you try to figure it out and control it, you're like standing in the ocean asking questions as the wave is crushing you. Right? It's like, okay, what do I do now? And like, no, you're in it. Like go. Like accelerate movement. And you know what to do, but you want to make sure it's absolutely perfect. And it's never going to be absolutely perfect, ever. And you surfed, you've played a game, you've ridden a bicycle, and there's no perfection. There's perfect imperfection in everything you do, I do, we do, right? Action equals progress. Progress is the result of repetition and innovation. So awesome job, Fernando. Thank you to the entire Unblinded team. Adam, you're on fire, brother. Love you. Leading with 75 days hard. We do have the Unblinded challenge coming up. Mark your calendars for October 24, 25. We are going to immerse deeply in our influence mastery and other accelerants in the formula for that day with a virtual event, maybe with a little bit of a live piece, but predominantly virtual. Love you all. Happy